Hello everyone, welcome to a new episode of Experts Talk with Himansha. First of all, I would thank my viewers for giving us so much love, liking our videos and subscribing. Please stay tuned and we will provide you more insights on the topics which you want to know. So today we are going to talk on our topic of investment, like how to invest in Germany, not only in real estate but other things like SIP, gold, or how to save taxes, whether you should go for public insurance or private insurance. So stay tuned. Thank you. Welcome, Veronica. Welcome to our podcast. And today, as we are going to talk more deep dive into investment, would you like to tell something about yourself to our viewers?
Of course, yes, thank you. Himansha, my name is Veronica Klein, and just 2 weeks ago I was in a seminar, and someone told that if you introduce yourself, you should say something that people keep your name in mind. And I thought, what can I say? So my last name is Klein, and I'm actually tiny. Klein means tiny in German. So I'm actually tiny. That's why I'm always wearing high heels. That's how you can keep my name in mind.
That's a nice way to remember.
Right? And you have an excuse to wear high heels.
Yes,
Also
yes.
good. Also good.
Unfortunately, we made you remove your shoes, but next time we'll show the heels.
Either way, we sit so you don't see how
Yes,
tall you are.
yes, yes.
That's right.
So, would you like to also tell us something about your background?
Of course. So before becoming a financial advisor, I was a professional dancer, and I was doing also such interviews as us today. And my today's business coach, he saw this interview and he said, "Hey, you can express yourself so well. I want you in my job. You fit perfectly to my job," and that's how I became a financial advisor.
Oh, that's nice to know. Do you still pursue your dancing hobby?
I wish I could as much as in the past, but I don't have much time.
Okay.
But if I have time, then of course.
Okay, so your current investment job is keeping you much busy.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
Okay, so going deep dive into investment, because I also heard from our many of friends or colleagues like how the expats feel about investment or what questions we have. So maybe we'll go more deeper into it. Like, what do you think? What kind of investment myths are there? Like, what people are not aware as an expats?
As expats, you have to know that the Indian system is completely different to the German system. You have another language, you have other terms and conditions, you work in a different way. And I believe people coming from India to Germany, they put so much effort into moving to the other country, so they should really be aware of it needs financial planning to build wealth as well here in Germany.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. So, like, what kind of investments expats can do in Germany?
Yeah, so we have multiple types of investments. First of all, what's very important, you really need to know that what are my short-term goals and long-term goals. Do I want to stay in Germany? Do I want to leave Germany?
Okay.
As well as things like your risk tolerance. Do I want safety? Do I want liquidity? Do I want profit? And once you know all these factors, then you can decide what type of investment you want to do.
Ah, okay. Does it also depend on visa status?
In Germany, we have many different investment types that are also subsidized by Germany. And when you don't have a residence permit, then you cannot get these investment types.
Okay,
So
okay.
you should at least have a residence permit if you want to stay long term and get these subsidies from Germany.
Subsidies, okay.
Yeah.
So maybe like, would you like to tell our viewers more like what kind of investments they can do?
So an investment type could be, for instance, mutual funds. We
Okay.
have in Germany. We also have things like gold and silver, retirement plannings, 100 different options. So you really need to know what is my goal. Do that with a consultant or with whoever, and then based on that you can make a decision what suits you best.
Okay, okay. So in your consulting, like, do you guide people like how they can invest, or how does this process is working? Basically, say if I'm a new person in Germany as an expat, I am not aware like how I can invest. So what is a first step to start? Okay, there are different type of investments,
Yeah.
what I learned from you,
Yeah.
but then how to get started, how people get familiar. Okay, these are the possible investments in Germany.
I always like to do that with an example. Himansha, imagine you go to the doctor.
Okay.
Okay. And you're going to the doctor. What is the first step that the doctor does before consulting you?
He will examine.
Yeah.
Yes.
And then after that?
He will examine and he will tell what are the symptoms,
Yeah.
and then based on the symptoms, he'll treat us.
Exactly. So
Okay.
now, if I would just tell you that people should do this or this or this, it would be a doctor just giving you any kind of medication, not knowing what symptoms you have. So, what I do with my clients, very first step is check their current financial situation, what goals do they have, and based on that, I make a strategy.
Okay.
So I could not tell this medication is good for that problem. It always depends individually for the person.
Correct. This is also good to know because then individual may have different aspects of investment. Some like gold, some like real estate, some in shares, and so on. So maybe then we will go much deeper by like, maybe by one
Yeah.
on what kind of investments and how do they exactly get benefits out of it. So where should we start with?
First of all, I always go after a financial pyramid.
Okay.
And maybe a question to you: why do you think that pyramids are so stable? Do you have any idea?
Okay, I really don't know. Maybe they have a broader base,
Yeah.
and little narrow on the height, so it is making them more stable.
Exactly. And same should be for your finances. So the
Okay.
fundament should be given. First of all, many people just keep one account and all the expenses are going out from one account, but that doesn't make sense. It's almost like trying to cook something, but you put everything into the cooking pot, bananas, bread, it doesn't make sense. So
Yes.
fundament should be, finances should be ordered. 2 bank accounts, fixed costs and flexible costs. After
Okay.
that, insurances, then investments, retirement planning, and so
Okay,
on.
then I think this is a good idea to start from the base. Let's consider myself as one of the client,
Yeah.
and today maybe we'll try to build a financial case study around my case, and then it will be more meaningful for people and our viewers to understand.
Sure.
So I start. Okay, I am a working woman. I have no investments as of now. I have only one account, as you said. So, what should be the first step to start with?
I would like to ask you, Himansha, what are your goals in finances?
So my goals would be like now I own a house, so I would like to repay it as faster as possible. So I want to make some investments because I hold now the German citizenship. So I'm a permanent resident here, and I have a lot of mortgage to pay. I have a stable job, so I want to invest in a way so that I can repay my loans faster.
Great. May I ask how long does your financing go for the house?
It's up to 30 years, and my like best vision is to close in 20 years.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what interest rate do you have currently?
The interest rate which we got because of the inflation, it was more around 3.5
Okay. Do you know from your contract that how long the interest rate is fixed?
for 10 years.
For 10 years. Now your goal is to pay it off as fast as possible. But do we know what happens after the 10 years if the interest rates are increasing, decreasing?
No, we said okay, we will look at the time, what are the interest rate, and we make a new contract out of it.
Exactly. And on what does the contract depend on? On
the remaining amount
and on the interest rate.
And the interest rate, yes.
So what I would do now with you, if we were in an appointment, I would basically check your finances, make a household budget planner,
Okay.
see where are you spending your money. Then I would make an additional contract of how you can secure yourself a low interest rate.
Okay.
So currently, from my company, we offer 1 to 2%, so that no matter what happens, you would have a low interest rate to pay off your house faster, and combine that with investments, etc., etc.
Ah, okay. I can save a low interest rate now as well when I'm already in a loan.
Exactly. Yeah.
Ah, okay. That's a nice way to do.
Yeah.
But I also like heard from my many friends, and also it's a boom around, around everywhere, that if we invest in mutual funds or SIP, this is giving us more return.
What do you want profit or safety for interest rate? Or both?
I would say both.
Then why not combine both with each other?
Okay.
Yeah, so I can just give you an example. Now it's maybe sounds crazy, so many ideas, but in finances we have three different types of advisory. So we have 1D, 2D, and 3D. 1D would just be I say, okay, Himansha, invest to a mutual fund. That's
Okay.
it. 2D would be invest into a mutual fund. It gives you tax returns, for
Okay.
instance. 3D would be mutual fund, tax returns, and reinvesting into your current wants and needs.
Okay.
I like to do the 3D advisory.
Okay, and then you will guide me through the whole process of how to invest and which one, 1D, 2D, or 3D, suits me best.
Exactly.
Oh, that's a nice way.
Yeah.
I think it's quite helpful.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah.
Thanks, Veronica. I think it's quite informative to know about this 1D, 2D, and 3D. Maybe can you also guide me? Are there ways to save some taxes? Because, like for the ones here who are the salaried employees, most of our, in-hand income goes in taxes, and which, if there is a way to save it.
Absolutely. You're saying a right point. When you look at your salary slip, you look at brutto, netto, it makes a
Yes.
huge difference. You
Yes.
lose a lot of money, and we have different ways. So most tax saving ways I would be saying is retirement saving. So we have different retirement investment plans where you get subsidies plus tax benefits.
Okay.
It depends that what is your goal, just like I said before. Then you can do retirement savings, and private health insurance will also give you tax benefits.
Ah, okay. So maybe like both of us can give us some tax saving. Let's go one by one. So how does that retirement plan will help us? So maybe like just thinking in more terms, now I have 30 years of mortgage to pay, and also in 30 years I will reach my retirement, say for example. Then how does this both should be linked together and help?
When do you want to retire? At what age?
As early as possible.
Everyone wants to, right?
Yes. So I think the standard retirement age is 67.
Yeah.
So, and the earliest is 63. So let's consider 63.
Okay, 63. You first of all need to think, how much money do I need in my retirement to live the life that I want?
Okay.
Okay. You want to go out, you want to go on vacations, have fun with your grandchildren. That's the first thing you need to know. How much money do I want to have in my retirement? Based on that, you make different types of investments
Okay.
for retirement. So for instance, if we sit together, then I'll make a plan with you. Okay, Himansha, with your current salary, how much do you get in your retirement? Once we know that, we know what gap we have to fill.
Okay.
Then I choose investment strategies for you that also give you tax benefits. So the German government actually supports you for saving for your retirement.
Oh, that's nice to know.
Yeah.
And this is something is different from the pension plan, what we are already contributing from our salary slip.
Yeah,
It's different.
exactly. So in
Okay.
Germany, everybody has to invest into the public retirement.
Yes.
But I can just give you a rough figure. If you're working your whole life in Germany, you will get 30 to 40% of your current net salary.
Okay.
And now we have maybe Indians, they only work here for 30 years. How much will
Yes.
they get?
Yes.
So many Indians just rely on German government, but we need to do something additional
Correct.
to
Correct.
what is deducted from our salary.
Okay. So
Yeah.
then whatever 30% we are getting from the government based on the service we have done in the country, this in plan will also help us to get or fill the gap of our salary that time.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's good to know. And how insurances help with this, like this public health insurance or private? Because I think I have lot of queries from people. Because currently what I see, like when I was on the topic of tax saving, we pay a huge amount for public insurance at present. Say for example, 1,000 euros per month, which is deducted from our netto. And for private, we see it's a very small amount. So that's also a reason people are always confused whether they should go for public or private. Maybe you can like throw more light on it.
It's one of my favorite topics. You have
Okay.
to imagine public health insurance is like a pot. And everybody has to pay to public health insurance.
Okay.
And it depends on your income how much you have to pay. So currently the highest rate would be around 1,171 euros for public health insurance.
Yes.
But just even if you pay more, you don't get more benefits. That's a problem with public health insurance. Now, in private, you pay for the benefits that you get. That's why many people who are high earners pay less in private health insurance than in public. Because in public, it depends on your income, how much you have to pay. In private, it depends on the benefits that you have.
Okay,
Yeah.
but does it make on the reimbursements when we like one? Okay, today we are paying less as a premium to the private insurance if we move it. But I have also heard, I don't know whether it is truth or not, but the myth around it that once we are in private insurance, we cannot move back to the public. And also, when you get older, that there are many things which are not covered with the private insurance, and you do not get it claimed.
You mean that it gets more expensive when you're older, or what was your question?
No, say for example now, say tomorrow I get some disease,
Yeah.
and then we don't know if there are things which will be covered in public insurance or not. Sorry, private insurance or not.
Yeah. That's one thing you need to consider once you take the private health insurance.
Okay.
Many Indians make the mistake, they just check the price. Private will be more expensive, less expensive, that's why they choose it. But before you take a decision, ask yourself, what value do I get from the private? We have many different private insurances in Germany, different companies. You really need to decide what benefits do I want to have and where do I get the benefits, not
Okay.
just because of the price. That's very
Okay.
important.
Okay. So while opting for one of the private insurance, we can also see the module and decide, because how will I get sick, or what things I will get, I don't know. Okay. So how we can decide that which company is good? Is it something on the package thing, or it's on more on the vendor to which we are going for the private insurance?
Now I could provide my company, but I would just give you a few points that you need to take care of while taking a private health insurance.
Okay.
First one, that it doesn't get more expensive when you're older.
Okay.
The second one is self-involvement, you also need to take care of.
Okay.
Third one is what benefits do I get?
Okay.
And I would really advise that people get a consultant that shows you, depending on your current status, what is the best private health insurance for you.
Okay, okay. I think that's good. And that's where your company is helping people to decide that which insurances is good for them, what retirement plan they can go for.
Exactly.
Okay.
So it's not like I will just give you mutual funds, say, Himansha, that's best for you.
Yes.
But we make a 360-degree advisory in every aspect of your life.
Okay.
So everything is perfectly covered.
Okay. Okay. So as you said, Veronica, like definitely I understand it's on case to case and 360-degree portfolio, how we make for client. It's like public versus private. But like how to check? Because I have heard from many our friends or, colleagues around that they compare the in-hand difference with paying to the private insurance or the public insurance, and they are paying less towards the public and they opt for it. But when they get actually hospitalized or they need some benefit, most of the things are not covered. So how does you relate, like whether public is good or private is good?
It depends on the case that you're in. So first of all, you need to be able to switch to private. So in Germany, we have a limit how much you should earn to switch to private. That's first case. Second thing you should consider, how old are you? How healthy are you?
Okay.
If you can switch, then don't only look at the price, because everyone that buys cheap buys twice. So if you, for instance, would buy cheap cameras, after 1 week they would be destroyed, you have to rebuy.
Yes.
That's the same with private health insurance.
Okay.
And many Indians make the mistake, they just check the price, think, I'm saving money, but then they don't get the benefits.
Okay.
So please check not only the price, but also the benefits, and then decide if you
Okay.
want to switch.
So like how to check these benefits?
With a consultant.
Nice way. That's a smart way. So
Yeah.
maybe I can also ask you with an example. So now say if person X has some disease, okay, and he or she is already aware of that disease, and in in public also we know many things are not covered, like some tests or some vitamins, tablets or things like that. So how he or she can make a decision whether public is good for him or private?
In that case, you need to ask yourself, even when you're not sick, that how much is it worth for me if I get sick to have the best medical treatment in Germany.
Okay.
For instance, public health insurance, let's say you have to go to the hospital. You are very sick, are in a bad mood, you have to share the room with many other people. Public health insurance. Private health insurance, you have a single bedroom. Your family can come, you don't have to pay additional. You can choose whatever hospital you want to. You can get a chef doctor treatment, and all those things.
Okay.
Similar to, I don't know, do you know the Apollo Hospital from India?
Yes.
It's also a private hospital.
Private hospital, yeah.
And same would be if you go to Germany to private health insurance.
Okay.
You can have a chef doctor treatment. You have, just like I said, single bedroom, can go to whatever hospital you want to.
Okay.
That would be an example.
That would be an example.
Yeah.
And also, is it possible in a same family that, say, is a husband, wife, and a kid? So maybe like wife and kid is with private insurance and husband is with public.
That's also possible, yeah.
Okay. And there is also a common question like once you are in private insurance, you cannot return back to the public. Is it true?
First question that I'd like to ask, why would you want to switch back to public?
Say one is not happy or they didn't make the right choices. As you said, we have to see the benefits of the private and they didn't see it. Now they want to go back. Or maybe another instance, if the person is unemployed, then you cannot stay with private, right?
Very good example. That's why we need the 360-degree advisory, because my clients would in that case get a working security, meaning if they are not able to earn any money, they would from the insurance still get their monthly income and can even pay the private health insurance.
Okay.
That would be an example. You can also switch between different private health insurance, and there are also a couple of other ways of how to switch back. Case of case.
Okay, then definitely we will go more deep dive into the products or the ways how people can save it. But it is good to know that even if the person is unemployed, it is not necessary always to return back to public. They can still go ahead with the private.
Absolutely.
Thank you. So Veronica, maybe then we'll go more into the other aspects of investment, like we are now already aware of like how to save loan percentages, which insurance is better for us, public or private, some retirement plans. Maybe would you like to tell us more about mutual funds?
What would you like to know?
Okay, so say I'm a beginner.
Yeah.
Where should I start with?
So very important is that you first ask yourself, what is your risk tolerance? So I would ask you, Himansha, that on a scale from 1 to 5, if 1 is very secure, just like money on your bank account, and 5 is very risky, where would you see yourself in?
I would say somewhere in middle at 3.
Okay, so the golden middle.
Yes.
Then I would ask you, how long do you want to invest?
So I would like to have it like 2. For example, 1, a longer term so that I can repay my loans for 10 years, and 1 I want for 2 years, because say after 2 years I want to go for some vacation or some family function is there and I need some money so I can withdraw out of it.
Okay. So you want a bit of flexibility as well?
Yes. So maybe is it possible to have it in the same fund or to start to, how should it be?
If we were in a consultation now, I would show you an investment portfolio that has different types of mutual funds into it. So I would go partly for security, partly for safety, partly for profit, after knowing your risk profile. So I can't say this or this is good for beginners, because it always depends individually. And clients, when they get consulted, the strategy is different from everyone.
And this time to time when it is changing and different funds, is it something that person or individual has to manage their own, or is there a person like you will be supporting them not only for the consulting but throughout the process?
If you do mutual funds by yourself, then you have to do it by yourself. If you have a consultant, my clients get updated regularly. So at least once in a year we see each other, and I will manage that if there is a political change, that we also change the mutual funds.
Okay.
So active support.
And how does that profit varies with the one doing themselves or with the consultant? Maybe first we go with the benefit of doing it, and then what would be the I would say disadvantage of not going with it?
Another to example, let's say you're flying to India.
Okay.
And you are at the, how do you say, Flughafen in English?
Airport.
Airport.
Yes.
I also have to learn some more English.
Yes.
Let's say you are at the airport and there are two planes. Okay.
Okay.
In one plane there is a pilot and he is leading your plane to India. In the
Okay.
other plane there is no pilot. To which one would you go?
Is it an autopilot or like just no pilot?
No pilot.
Of course, with the one with pilot.
Yeah. And would you also want to pay for the pilot?
I would say if the cost is minimal, yes. But if it is too high,
Yeah.
then don't mind taking a risk.
Then you would go without the pilot? Or
There are new technologies without no pilot.
that's right. That's the same with investments. If you want profit and safety with a pilot at the same time, you also pay a bit, of course, for consultants, for checking up, but you also make profit. So when I consult people, I always show them how much profit do you make after costs. That's very important.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, Veronica, going more into the mutual funds. So maybe will you tell us like advantages and disadvantages of going with consultant or without consultant? Like how will it impact one's return?
Yeah. Let me give you another example. Let's say, Himansha, you're sick and you're feeling very bad. Who would you ask? Me, who is not a doctor, or going to your private doctor?
Definitely visiting a doctor.
Yeah. And do you pay for the doctor?
Definitely, yes.
Yeah, but you have trust in him. So that's the
Yes.
same with investments. Of course, you can do investments by yourself, but the problem is if we have any political change, if there's in the economy something different, then it's always better to have a consultant for which you also pay some fees. But for me, for my consultancy, I always tell the people how much profit do you make after costs.
Okay.
So always take care of the costs as well.
Okay, okay. So, and in this mutual fund, it is always good because there are many surrounding factors which can impact the growth. So, it's always suggested to go with consultant. But it is also possible to do it individually.
Yeah, but then
Okay.
you take the risk for yourself.
Okay.
No one can help you if there's a problem.
There is a problem. Okay, understand. And now, like moving further on mutual funds, are there other ways also to invest in Germany? Like gold, like we are Indians, right? We love gold.
I know.
And
Yeah.
we do spend a lot of our money in buying gold. Is there a way? Because now I have also heard that in mutual funds, there are type of gold funds where you can invest, but it is more on the paper or it's more of money, but we want something like physical to be in hand. So how does it work in Germany?
So you can basically, when I consult you, you can choose, do I want physical gold or do I want to have mutual fund gold?
Okay.
That's the answer.
Okay, but it is also a possibility in Germany to get a physical gold.
Where you
That's
can
nice
have
to
it
yes, yes.
Yeah.
And how is it different? Because nowadays we are hearing a lot about if we carry some gold from India or anywhere else, we have to pay a lot of custom duty and all. So after say I invested for 1 year and I get some amount of gold in my hand, a physical gold, am I allowed to carry it anywhere?
That's more of a tax consultant question.
Okay.
I would not answer that.
Okay, but I
Yeah.
will get a physical gold in my hand and I can
course.
use it.
Of course.
Okay, okay. And if I get a mutual fund gold, I can use it for reinvestment.
For instance, yeah, you always invest into mutual funds because it shows you the market situation. So you invest into the gold price and not into physical gold.
So thanks, Veronica, for giving us so much insights on the different type of investments and the gold. So I also wanted to understand, like now, if people do investment in these things and they get some letters from Finanzamt or somewhere else in German, is language like really a barrier to do investments in Germany?
When you were telling about post from the Finanzamt, my arms were already shaking. Everyone hates that, and especially when it's in German and not in English. So I give my client the service. When he gets something that is in German, I will help them to understand what they say. So
Okay.
it is a barrier for people who don't speak German. You should really put it into Google Translator or something. But if you have a consultant, No problem at
We
all.
don't have to worry. So language is not like a barrier to stop you from any kind of investment.
No.
Okay, that's good to know. And also, like, apart from the Indians who are coming for working and all, there is a huge crowd base of students who are coming to study. And since we know in the students you are allowed to work part time and they do not earn so much, so is there also ways for them to invest?
I would say I have 5 to 10 students,
Okay.
and they from me get the basic insurance plus a little bit of investment. So you can start investing from 25 euros.
Okay.
Why not? If you have some money left, then do that.
Okay.
You can invest, yeah.
Okay, and this is how flexible is it? Is it for like a short time or is it something for a longer period?
It depends on how long the students want to stay here in Germany.
Okay.
So, for instance, if I have a student that wants to leave in, let's say, 4 years, then I would go more on the safer side, more liquid side. So he goes against inflation, but still makes some profit and can then take out the money once he leaves.
Make the money. And you also help them to get some basic insurances what they need.
Exactly.
Okay, like liability insurance is another.
Perfect, yeah.
Okay, okay. So maybe would you like to give us some example of like the cases which you might have handled in your tenure, like how they have benefited being consulted with you?
I'm very lucky to say that not many of my clients had many bad cases, but I can tell examples that I had and people from my team. So, for instance, one of my clients, he was going to India. He was playing the, how do you say, similar to tennis?
Okay, badminton.
And he got his shoulder dislocated back in
okay.
India, and the costs were around, I think, 3,000 euros. And with me, he has an insurance that takes care of all of the costs that he had in India. Plus, he had a health telephone. So immediately he had a number that he knew, okay, I have this insurance, I have to call this person, and they will tell me to which doctor I have to go, which is the best for me.
Okay.
That
So
was
then
nice.
this insurance also work abroad, like not in Germany. It is not restricted to Germany. We can avail it outside. This also trigger a question to my mind.
Yeah.
Say now I have a plan. Like I don't want to live in my old ages in Germany, cleaning the house and doing all the stuff.
Yeah.
I would like to stay close to my close ones or my family. So I move back to India in say 50 to 55 of my age span. And how does this retirement plan, what I am investing, or insurances, or health insurance will work? Will it benefit me when I'm not exactly living in Germany?
You're saying the perfect word, retirement. And retirement, yes, if you choose the right plans, then the money that you have put in your retirement saving, you'll get that also in India.
Okay.
So you can profit here in Germany with the tax returns, etc., and get the money back in India.
Okay.
Health insurance, as you are then resident in India, will not cover you anymore because you don't have a house in Germany anymore, or a place where you live. So for health insurance, you really need to live in Germany.
Okay, for health insurance, I have to live here. So, say I own a citizenship of Germany. So, I am still a German citizen, but I'm allowed to live in India. So, in this case, will this insurance work?
Yeah,
Health insurance as well
as well.
will work.
Yeah.
So, it depends on our visa status. So, if we are German citizen, it will also work abroad. If not, then we have to take the place where we are living.
Exactly.
Okay. Then it's good to know that our insurances will also work in like when we are staying abroad. So I would also like to know, like there are, when I'm in India, right? So we have a lot of things where we earn money. One, except from the mutual funds or different type of insurances. So if I keep my money in bank, I get some interest. Is it? But here, at least what I know, if I keep my money or I am a salaried employee, bank will charge me some cost to keep my account. Is there a way we can earn some interest in banks?
When I advise my clients, first of all, it's very important, you need to have at least 2 to 3 monthly salaries on the side that are not invested. So I would just keep them on the bank account. The rest, I would put them in so-called maybe government bonds, maybe fixed deposits, where you can get some profit. So
Okay.
I sometimes offer government bonds that give you at least 4% per annum, but they are also flexible. So let's say tomorrow you would need the money, you could take it out. That's what I, for instance, do.
Ah, okay, that's good to know. And also, I have something in my mind. So, say, like as I said to my previous question, I don't live in Germany and I moved back to India. And say, like, a person is no more tomorrow, right? So, is there also a norm that the person from the family, like a husband or children, will get that money for any investment, irrespective?
Yeah, that's important when you choose the insurance that you have or the investment, that the people are put into the contract. So they will get it once you are not there anymore. That's very important.
And is it compulsory that the person we put should also stay in Germany, or he or she can be anywhere,
She can be anywhere.
and they get the money?
Exactly.
Okay. And then this is also one of the often questions, because when we get money, we send money, we also get amount get deducted as part of taxes or some different charges, platform charges. So how does this happens for the this kind of investments what we earn, because this is something what we are earning additional to our salary. So how the taxes works on these?
Good question. Important to say, I'm not a tax advisor, so you would have to ask a tax advisor. But what I can say, in Germany, we have capital gain tax plus Solidaritätszuschlag. Sounds like a crazy word. But basically, in Germany, you have a certain amount that you have for free when you get investment gains. So let's say you made 2,000 euros investment gains, but you are married, then you have an amount of 2,000 euros free, which you don't have to pay taxes on.
Okay.
Okay? Single people have 1,000 euros for free. After you, let's say you make 3,000 euros benefit, you and your husband are together, you have 2,000 free, so you only have to pay taxes on the 1,000 euros.
1,000 euros.
On the difference then.
Okay.
That's important.
Okay. Then just listening to this, like one, crazy thought came to my mind. Now, say I'm earning 50,000 euros from my savings in span of, I don't know, 10, 20 years. Is it possible to get partly paid in years so that I can, get the maximum benefit out of it? Or
You're
we
asking
get...
questions. I'm actually thinking, how should I answer this or not? Those are things which I wouldn't advise you.
Okay.
Those are things you have to decide by yourself. If I would now tell you, Himansha, do this to avoid paying taxes, then the German government would call me, Veronica Klein, what are you doing?
No, my intention was not to, just not to pay any taxes and all. What I wanted to learn is, is it mandatory that if I invested for a fixed duration of 10 years, that whatever benefit I get, I have to get it in 1 year? Or is it possible for me to split it over years to get some benefits?
What you can keep in mind, the 1,000 or 2,000 euros are per annum.
Okay.
That's what I can tell you. You have 1,000 to 2,000, depending on how many people you are, free per year.
Okay.
That's what I can tell you. So next year you'll also have 1,000 euros for free.
Okay.
Decide what you want to do with that answer.
That's nice to know.
Yeah.
And also, since we are on this investment, we have a very famous investment which is like 100% safe in India, which is called as LIC.
Yeah.
So it's something like we take a kind of a bond. It's a semi-government private commodity in India, and we invest in that, and we take a bond of 20 years. And say in 20 years, we say annually we will pay for example, 1,000 euros per year, and they will calculate in the start of the bond that how much I have accumulated for say 10,000 euros to 10 years is 10,000 euros, and then what additional will I get? So maybe say another 5,000. So I will get 15,000 euros after this bond is closed in 10 years. Do we have something similar in Germany?
Yes, we have that.
Ah, okay, that's good to know.
Yes, absolutely. And
And it's zero risk.
zero risk. Yeah.
Okay.
Talk to a consultant concerning that topic, but you have to know we have that in Germany.
Oh, that's nice to know, because I think this is the most safe investments where beginners wants to do. That's how it is also in India. The ones who are smart enough and they go for various kind of investment, but it is also attracting the people who just want to start and don't want to take any risk.
Yeah, they just want safety, liquidity, and
Yes.
in German we say die Schäfchen ins Trockene bringen. Have you heard of that?
No.
That basically means putting your money into safe places.
Yes.
So we can also do something
Like
that.
some the piggy banks, how children keep it safe. Okay.
Exactly.
We'll use it.
Exactly.
That's nice to know. And since we were more of like moving, staying in Germany and moving abroad, like I also wanted to know about the life risk insurance. So do we also have something like, irrespective of the mortgage, if I have, but I want some security for my children. Say for example, tomorrow if something happens to me, I want the future of my children to be secure. Are there kind of insurances available here? And does it also depend on visa status?
That also depends on visa status. You need to have a residence permit.
Okay.
And you can take an insurance for your family, for yourself. That's again a life insurance, which protects you and your children if something happens.
Okay.
Yeah.
And does it also work if something happens to the person while traveling somewhere? Say some person X went on vacation to Spain and something happens there. So will it also cover, or is it only limited to the German region?
It depends on where you take the insurance. I think I haven't said it before, but in Germany it's not that one insurance is for just one company or from the government, but we have different types of insurance companies. And you need to take care which insurance company do I take, and then you see what benefits I have. So is it also worldwide? Is it just in Germany? And that again depends on you.
Okay, so in the consultation, it is more like, as you explained, we'll read more on the portfolio and we can make case to case how the insurances, investment and things should work.
Exactly.
I mean, I think it's quite interesting. So would you like to tell our viewers more about, like little bit more on your details? What kind of consulting do you provide and what all benefits they can get?
Yeah, first benefit, they have me as an advisor.
Definitely,
Most
yes.
person. No, so I always like to give an example. Let's say, Himansha, you somehow need to take care of your finances, okay? You invite to your home, you invite an investment advisor, an insurance advisor, a tax advisor, and a private banker, so a bank. And you say, okay, I give you 1,000 euros, decide what you want to do with that money. What will these people do? What do you think?
I think they will put it in 2-3 different pockets. Like as a human, I will say, okay, I'll just keep it one for the safety, one for getting it grow more, and one for something like if some mishappening happens, something like that.
You said perfectly. You as a human would do it like that.
Yes.
But do you think these people will try to get the money for themselves, or would they? No.
Okay.
You're with good thoughts. Many Indians think that way, but in Germany it's like that. That of course the companies want to have the money for themselves.
Ah, okay.
They won't decide that what is the best for you, but they try to give you what is the best for them.
Okay.
So let's say they are all at your table. They will try to fight for that money and try to get it for themselves.
Okay.
So what I do is I cover all of these aspects, meaning I give the people the advisory that they need. I cover investments, insurances, taxes, private banking. So people have one person, they can ask all the questions that they have.
Correct. I mean, I think this is the best part where we have one go-to person to ask, okay, if I have this, how it should go. Because many times we are confused, we are reluctant, sometimes we are unable to translate different documents. So it's always difficult. So it's always easy to have one person where you can go with all your queries and get it sorted.
That's it. And actually some of my clients, they will call me when they just want to tell me something, and you become like friends because you know that you help them in every aspect of their life, in health, in finances. You basically become friends, and that's why I like to do it.
Yes.
You're the one contact person.
Okay. So, Veronica, will you tell me about like how this consulting works? Like, is it the only type of consulting? Like, I know that first consulting is always free, where we more interact. But does it goes with different products, or how does it vary based on customer to customer?
So, for instance, let's say we have an appointment. Okay. First of all, like you said, first appointment is for free. I will ask you about your wishes and goals, current financial situation. Then I'll make a plan on that. Next appointment, I will bring you products that fit to your situation. Let's say you have Bausparvertrag is a typical German word.
Yes.
Then I will show you how much costs you also have this product, because when you get a product for free, you think, what is that? So for instance, in Germany, I don't know, do you know Porsche or Mercedes?
Yes.
Very good cars.
Who don't knows?
Yeah, everyone wants to have them, but if they would be for free, no one would want to have them.
Yes.
And same is with products. So you pay for the product, a type of money, which I will show the clients. And from that, I will also be paid.
Okay.
So the product partners that I'm working with will pay me.
Okay.
Not the
So
client.
it is not something like individual has to pay you, but you will be helping them as a guide to the journey of investment.
Exactly.
And say tomorrow I don't want this product. Okay, I maybe definitely we will make a horizontal view of it and we like it, but later 1 year I realize I don't want this product. So how does the cancellation works?
I always support my clients with that.
Okay.
So I have never had it that someone wanted to cancel because that should never happen. You should always choose the right investments. And if you want something else, then we can also switch between products. That we can also do. And
Okay.
worst case, if a client wants to cancel whatever reason, then I will support them in that process.
I think this is good to know, because at least in Germany we have like a lot of things. If we make a contract, there is a fixed duration or tenure that we cannot cancel it and we have to pay.
Yeah. I will also, before we make a contract, tell the people how long does this contract go, how long should it go, and how, if you would want to cancel, how it works then.
Okay.
That's what I do.
Okay. Thanks, Veronica. Thank you so much for such meaningful insights on investment, and I definitely believe that it will help our viewers a lot to do. Thank you so much for watching us. And this videos we are making for your interest. So if you have more questions or queries, please feel free to comment us below. Also, if you would like to book an appointment with Veronica for your financial investment, please drop us an email on the email ID mentioned below, and we will help you with one free VIP sessions and 30% discounts on car insurance. Thank you so much and stay tuned. So thanks, Veronica, for such meaningful insights. And let's now enter to the interesting part of this podcast. So we will going to have a rapid fire where I will ask you some questions quickly and you have to give one-word answers or yes or no. Maybe if it is not one word, then stick to one sentence.
That's my favorite exercise because I want to keep myself fast and easy.
Yes.
Okay.
So are we good to start?
Yes.
Cool. So here we go. The first, how many clients you deal per year?
Maximum 50.
Nice. Financial planning or investment? What is better?
First, financial planning, then investment.
Okay. Goods or real estate? Gold or real estate?
Both.
Both. Stocks or mutual fund?
Mutual funds.
Biggest financial mistake?
Not making a plan
Okay. Best age to start investing?
right now.
One word to describe financial planning?
Freedom.
Freedom. Okay. Active or passive investing?
Passive.
Best investment for retirement?
Let me think. All the 3 layers from the German government. So we have 3 different layers and you should take all of them.
Okay. Most common money myth?
I can only start investing when I have money or when I'm rich.
Okay. Germany specific finance?
Bausparvertrag.
Private or public health insurance?
If you can switch, private.
Biggest financial challenge for expats?
Finding the right consultant.
Right. Mortgage or renting?
Mortgage.
Okay. Germany's best financial advantage?
You get subsidies.
Okay. Credit card or debit card?
Debit card.
Best way to save on taxes.
Long-term retirement plannings.
Okay. Freelancer or full-time job?
Freelancer, I could never be an employee.
Okay. Insurance and risk management?
Both.
Both? Okay. Life insurance, essential or optional?
Essential.
Essential. Car insurance, comprehensive or third party?
Depends, but comprehensive.
Okay. Best type of health insurance?
Private health insurance.
Risk or security?
Both.
Thank you so much. It was fun.
Yeah, thank you so much.
Thanks, Veronica. Thanks for joining us and giving us so meaningful insights and helping our audience to, get a deeper version on investment. Would you like to give some feedback or some suggestions for our viewers?
Of course. Suggestions for you, please try to find yourself the right consultant. It should not only be that he's offering good investment options, but you should also feel comfortable with him. You should trust him, and then he should really go deep into your current situation. So please find someone that you feel confident with, even if it's me or someone else, and then I'm sure you make the right strategies.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you, Veronica, for visiting us and giving us so meaningful insights about a lot of investment topics. I think our viewers will be really happy to see this podcast because they will be getting a lot of their queries clarified. Thank you so much.
Thank you, and Dana, what?
Oh, nice.
See you next time.
See you next time. Bye-bye.